So today I'm going to listen to that car beep in the background, but the bees in this colony, or I should say the colony of bees living in this hive, always trying to get my hive and colony terminology correct. The wooden structure is a house, that's the hive. The bees living in the hive are the colony of bees. I like to keep them straight. Like a hive of bees doesn't fly away, because a hive is just a box. It's the colony inside that flies away. Anyway, so these bees are goners. Yeah, even today, when all the other colonies were out for their cleansing flights, these bees weren't doing anything. So they're dead. They're not going to make it. So I want access to all the drawn comb and any leftover honey in this hive for my other bees later on in the summer, in the spring. So I'm going to pull what few bees are left of that hive, and I'm going to put them in this hive. This little 5-frame medium nuke box that I've got just sort of sitting right here on top of a deep, and there's already a few bees that are curious about it. And that's it. They're going to go in, and we're going to see what happens. I think they're going to die anyway, no matter what I do, but we'll see. And this is a feeding rim if they need it. They might not need it. But the feeding rim would go over top the box like that, and it would give me some room to put some sugar bricks or fondant if I had it, and all that jazz. So I'm going to plonk my camera over this way, and we're going to tear into this hive, pull one frame up, go one frame at a time, and put them in this box right here. This is a homemade box. Someone who knows how to build things built this, and I haven't tried it out yet. I don't know if the frames are going to fit, because sometimes homemade boxes can be a little bit, you know, a millimeter too tight, and you got to jam the frames in. Hopefully that's not going to happen. We'll give it a go. I actually picked up some other boxes today too, some deep 5-frame boxes that would probably work as well too, but we're going to go with this. This looks great. I love it, and let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. I'm going to light my smoker as well, and put on my veil and those gloves. I don't think I'm going to need any of that, but I'm going to put it on, have it all ready just in case. Sometimes the bees, after the winter, and they know they're in trouble, something's going wrong, they can be really easily agitated and really slip into defensive mode quickly, and they'll sting you. And then, look at that, live on film, poop. They can sting you, and they sting you hard. They'll bend their bodies right into you and give you a good sting. So I'm gonna try to avoid that, just in case. So that's why I'm gonna have them. Boy, these guys are getting out. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to avoid that if I can. But it's probably gonna take like 2 minutes, but we'll see. All right, let's take a look. There they are, clustering at the bottom of that sugar brick. Can you see it? There we go. Yeah, they're defensive. Oh, they're not happy. They're roaring. But it's going to be quick, because there's only 3 frames. Maybe not even 3 frames of bees in this. I'm trying to see if I can spot the queen, just to see if she's clustered anywhere. There she is. Is she showing up on the camera? I don't know if that's showing up, but she's got a dot on her. She looks okay, but I can tell you she hasn't mated well, or she hasn't been laying eggs this year. Can you see her? She's got Got the little dot on her. I'll crop in a bit. She ain't the greatest looking queen. She never was. But you can see too, they're running out of honey. There's no honey on this frame. There she is. There she is. See that? She ain't moving fast, but it's probably cold. So, nope, I haven't got high hopes there. No honey. No honey. Nope. There's honey. Yeah, there's a bit of honey right there. I'll give him some honey. I can just pop this out. Let's see what we've got. There we go. So there's the 5-frame medium nuke. And there's some bees stuck on the sugar. I'm going to dump them off the sugar into the hive. There we go. So there they are. Cluster is right here. Very small cluster. Cantaloupe size, I'd say, not too big. Not a lot of honey on that frame, but this is a full frame of honey, and this is a bit of honey with some drawn comb, so they got room. I think later on I'll put a, I'll put this on for now. Here's the top cover. Here's the top cover. So they're done. A nice little homemade entrance reducer for this nuke box, 5-frame nuke. It's got the big one, the big entrance, and the little entrance. And now I'm going to give them the little entrance for now. So there you go. Ain't looking great, but good enough. A couple of those frames were tight, like I suspected. That just happens all the time. It happens in regular hives, regular supers as well, not just homemade ones. And I got a few stragglers over here, but maybe this will be a part 2 of this video. These bees are dead. Well, that's a big... something happened. So they ate through most of their honey on that frame. Look at all those dead bees. Something happened here. Something happened here. That's a lot of dead bees, right? Those bees, not that many. Something happened. So I don't know what happened. Maybe they ran out of food. They're not completely, the frames aren't totally empty. See, there's a bit of honey right there on the bottom. So it might have just been too cold for them to move. I don't know. Let's just see. Look, like that's honey. So they didn't starve. Huh, that's all honey. That's in the bottom. So it's possible they, for some reason, they look. That's a nice, perfect drawn comb there. But so this is some of the pollen patty I gave them. They didn't really seem to eat that. They ate. Looks like they ate some of the sugar, but not a lot of it. And let's see. So this is a lot of dead bees. I mean, it's not huge. If it was there was never a large colony to begin with. But that's a little bit, like I got full colonies that have, you know, fully established 50,000 bee colonies going into winter with this many dead bees at the end of the winter. So something happened. I'm just looking for, I don't see any signs of shrews, any bits and pieces of bees. And I don't see, I don't know what happened. Maybe, you never know, right? It's hard to say. Sometimes they just don't have a healthy queen, or maybe they've got nosema or something. Maybe they hit some nosema and they just knocked them out. I don't know. You can see too here, see these frames here? They've got that coating of mold on them. And that happens when it's moist. See, that's a moldy frame, right? I don't know if that moldy frame made them sick. What's going on with that one? Like, look, let's just taste this. Yeah, that's honey. So, something's going on. They had honey. And you can see that when they had this open, See, this is something that happens too. I've seen sometimes they don't get to cap the honey going into winter, or even syrup, and it gets moldy like this, and it stays open, and it just becomes a source of mold. And a little bit of mold doesn't seem to kill them, but yeah, this is heavy. You know, look at that. That's a lot of dead bees. Like that. Just imagine this. Like this is. Just look, right? Right. That's a cluster of bees right there. A small cluster, but it's a cluster. So, I don't know. I really can't tell you what happened. They had food. They had open frames of honey, and maybe that was it. Maybe it's just the open frames of honey. It was too damp. It got cold. Got moldy. Something. But they didn't do well. The cluster just shrunk to nothing. So anyway, they're out of that box. Maybe there was something wrong with that box, something moldy, something bad, and it could have been nosema, dysentery, whatever. So I don't think they ate that sugar. They just got rid of it. And there's some pollen patty, but they didn't eat that either. It doesn't look like it. I might give them a nice pollen patty on the next warm day, but they've got honey. They've got enough to keep them alive right now. And yeah, there you go. Big mess. But yeah, look at all these dead bees. Something happened to them that caused them to shrink. And I don't know. Like, it's not wet. Sometimes you get a leak inside the hive and you're underneath the tree and the snow falls on them and something weird happens. The moisture gets in and there's a bit of mold there. When bees are, even if they're not themselves wet, if there's a lot of moisture in the hive, it just keeps them sort of in a state of torpor where they can't move. And I don't know what happened. I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, I don't see. But again, like I live in Newfoundland where we don't really have disease like they have in other parts of North America and the world. So, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so they're in this nice little 5-frame box. It's nice and dry. They got food. I don't think there's any frames of mold in there. Nothing to bother them, I don't think. So I'll just give them, maybe that'll give them a chance. Maybe they'll come back to life, who knows. The queen didn't look, she's not a big fat queen. Big long fat queen who's looked like she's been laying well, and she never has been. There's no brood in there at all. Anyway, there you go. Beekeeping, the glory. The only other thing about this hive is that the hive stand itself is what's called a DE hive stand. It's this mammoth thing. This is what it looks like underneath. And it has a reduced entrance already built into it, right here. Instead of the normal open entrance that I have a screened but opened in at wide bottom entrance like that. I don't think that would really be a huge problem, but who knows? Maybe there wasn't enough ventilation. But they're dead. And if this colony comes back to life, it'll be a miracle. All right, so I've got this 5-frame nuke with a cantaloupe-sized cluster inside. I've got it set up in an area that gets more sun, more direct sunlight. So maybe that'll give them a little bit of a fighting chance to come back to life. A little bit of extra heat from the sun. But right now that's it. The queen is there. She looks ragged. She doesn't look like she's ever been much of a laying queen, and I don't see any signs that she was laying at all. I mean, it's March and there's no sign of brood, so I don't kind of get the feeling she doesn't want to lay eggs. And was probably never mated well. I'll probably drop. We'll see how they react to this their new house. Nice, clean, small house, tidy, cozy. We'll see what happens. And if they grow, then great. And if they don't, well, that queen's got to go. And I'll just mix them with another colony of bees that could use a few extra bees to help them out. But if they do start to grow, I'll pop a pollen patty on top of them and give them a little something. Maybe that'll help. But they've got honey in there. They've got room to lay if that queen ever decides she wants to lay. And what else can you do, right? It's Newfoundland in March, and it's starting to snow.